Those scores good enough to move Brian Orser into first place right now in the men's competition, this NutraSweet World Challenge of Champions. A century and a half after his death, they still lay fresh flowers on the pedestal of Alexander Pushkin's statue. Regarded as the father of modern Russian literature, he spent many years in exile because of his liberal views. Pushkin died at age 38, fighting a duel for the woman he loved. Next to skate, Olympic gold medalist Brian Boitano. Brian's been very busy lately, filming a movie called Carmen on Ice, which is being shot in Spain. It's due out in March. It's a unique adaptation of the romantic opera about a seductive gypsy played by Katerina Witt and an officer played by Brian who forsakes his career for the woman he loves. It's no coincidence that Katerina won her gold medal in Calgary skating to the theme from Carmen. This is a first-of-a-kind production, blending skating with cinematography.
The movie is made like a ballet movie, so it's only the music, and we're telling a lot with our bodies and with the eyes. And it's a lot of acting in it, so for us it was not easy to do it, but it was really nice to get into it, you know, to try to find your thoughts, what you want to tell without the words. And this was a big challenge for us, but I think we helped each other a lot, and so it was much easier to do.
In today's program, we'll see Brian skate his solo performance from the movie. This is the first time it's been seen in competition. It's an emotionally charged performance that complements his athleticism.
There's a part in the movie where Carmen throws me out, and I hear the bugles blow, and that means I have to go back to work. And she says, fine, then just leave, but don't ever come back. And I take out a flower that she had given me in the beginning of the movie when I first met her, and it was all dried now, and I skate to the flower, and the flower is Carmen, and I'm saying to her, don't you understand how much I love you, that you mean everything to me, and it's just that I have to go, but I'll be back, and I love you.
The bugles will blow for Brian Boitano when we return to the NutraSweet World Challenge of Champions.
Frank Gifford back in New York. 6 Nevada-Las Vegas basketball players have been ruled ineligible for one game because of non-payment of long-distance phone bills. 2 players will miss each of the next 3 games, beginning with Stacey Augmon and Chris Jeter, who will miss tomorrow's game against LSU, which we'll have here on ABC Sports. And as we reported earlier this afternoon, Bob Greasy, Tom Landry, Franco Harris, Jack Lambert, Buck Buchanan, Ted Hendricks, and Bob St. Clair were inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Our congratulations go out to all of them. And joining me now from the site of Super Bowl 24, New Orleans, Louisiana, was one of the 7 finalists, Lynn Swann. And Lynn, I guess you'll just have to be content for another year to wear those 4 winning Super Bowl rings, but don't you worry about it. Your year's coming. What's the atmosphere like down there, Lynn?
Well, the atmosphere here today is relatively calm compared to the allegations of the improprieties within the NFL's drug testing program that were aired this week. The NFL, when I talked to them today, said they stand by their position, that the story is not true and is not based in any fact whatsoever. Other than that, Bob Humphrey will start for the Denver Broncos with some extra padding on his ribcage, and he'll find out after he gets hit whether he can go on and continue in this ball game. And for the 49ers, Roger Craig, who's been suffering from the flu, is feeling pretty good and feels his legs are very fresh and he can continue. Of course, Frank, in Super Bowl 14, I suffered from the flu prior to that game. And the biggest problem I had was fatigue in the second half. So it's something the 49ers are going to have to take a look at with Roger Craig when they come back. But we'll find out all the answers to that tomorrow.
Let me pin you down a little bit, Lynn. Who do you like in this game and why?
Well, I like the San Francisco 49ers. I think they're one of the best football teams you can watch in football today because they do everything so well. But it's an emotional Denver Bronco team that wants to get 1 Super Bowl win out of 4 appearances.
And, of course, you got a Bronco team with the John Elway, who is maybe one player around today, Lynn, who can win a game all on his own. Lynn, thank you for being with us. We're running out of time. We'd like to wish you well. And, of course, again, that year will come for our colleague Lynn Swann for the Hall of Fame. Tomorrow, ABC's College Basketball presents regional coverage as UNLV meets LSU or Indiana takes on Minnesota. Then next Saturday on ABC's Wide World of Sports, the broadcast premiere of the George Foreman, Jerry Cooney heavyweight bout. And WBA middleweight champion Mike McCallum meets unbeaten Stevie Collins live from Boston. Plus legendary jockey Bill Shoemaker's final ride. Now, immediately following our show, stay tuned for your local news and World News Saturday over most of these ABC stations. Right now, let's rejoin Roger Twibell for the conclusion of the NutraSweet World Challenge of Champions.
Выступает Brian Boitano.
Brian Boitano is the final competitor as Brian Orser leads the competition, and Brian will skate the solo performance of his soon-to-be-released movie, Carmen on Ice.
What a superbly performed triple Lutz. It's amazing that Brian can bring so much emotion into his skating without losing the focus of his jumping. And here comes the most difficult jump in Brian's program, a triple axel, 3.5 revolutions in the air. Right there.
His concentration has to be second to none, David.
Well, I think in all the years that I have been around skating that he is the greatest jumper I've ever seen.
Brian seems to be enjoying the challenge of professional skating, David.
Well, in the years past, he was known as primarily a jumper, but he's worked so hard in the other aspects of his skating that now he really is the complete skater, and you can always see him strive for more and more every performance. Another triple jump, a triple Salchow, with just a slight bobble there in the landing. And because of his sheer strength, he covered it up beautifully. What a powerful performance.
Skating was wonderful, and the touch of drama he added to it really fortified it.
And Brian had to be two things in this performance, an athlete and an artist. Here's a look at his death drop. And the way to do this death drop is to throw your body into the air without any regard for its safety whatsoever. There's great height in that jump.
And the audience most appreciative of the performance by Brian Boitano. The flowers being given to him by the admiring fans, and the technical marks outstanding. 5 10s and a couple of 9 9s, and a hug from his coach, Linda Lever. And the artistic scores also reflecting the perfection of his performance. A total of 10 10s out of 14 scores as he joins our David Santee.
With so much more emotion in your skating, how can you concentrate on the jumps?
That's what I was nervous about today. I was nervous to mix all the expression, because that alone takes so much concentration, as you know. But to also think of the technical things, you have to know the program very well. I didn't know this program as well as I should have, but I did it so many times in the movie that I felt that I had it under my belt a little bit. But that's a challenge. The challenge is trying to concentrate on both.
And Brian